Unapologetic liberal talk. It's Tarabuster with Tara Devlin.
What's up? All right. Hello. Nice to see you. Nice to be seen on the Tarabuster YouTube channel. We meet here every Friday. YouTube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. Thank you for hanging out. We're also on Substack, on Twitch. Hi, Andrea. Nice to see you. Andrea's over on the Twitch chat, keeping us safe from the trolls who are out in force, I guess. And nice to see you, Mike, on YouTube. Good evening from hot Southern California. Good evenings. Try to stay cool. And yeah, it's pretty hot over here too. Not too bad, but it's going to be storms. Uh-oh, what happened? We're not getting raided? That sucks. Oh, yeah. Okay, we didn't have a producer. That's okay, Andrea. We're good. We're learning to stand on our own 2 feet over here. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Nice to see you, JD. Nice to see you, JD, from England. Over on the chat, the lucky bastard from England. He gets to witness the madness from a safe distance. Good luck to us, right? All right, and thank you, Charlie. APS Radio and APS Radio News, keeping the world safe for democracy, one kind act at a time, really. Charlie's one of the good ones. So check out APS Radio and APS Radio News. Download the little app, classic rock and oldies all day long. And sometimes we need to do that. Look at my hair. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. You know, I'm feeling very self-conscious in general. You know, I'm getting old. And I'm doing thumbnails for the Tarabuster YouTube channel using AI. Because YouTube has a thing where you have to pay for it, of course. Nothing's free in this world. There's a AI additional app thing you could add to YouTube, and it'll make thumbnails for you. I don't know. I got to find out which one Hal uses to make his thumbnails. You got to let me know. But the thumbnails that are being made, it'll grab videos, it'll grab pictures from the video, and it'll make a thumbnail of the host, and it always makes me look like shit, really. Unless I'm like, is this what I look like? No, I don't look like that. And there was one where it just gave me massive wrinkles and a lot of blemishes. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Who hates me over there? It really does work on my self-esteem. I have to work on that anyway. So, I guess we all do. All right, and I don't know, whatever. It sucks. Everything sucks. It sucks to be right. Yeah, not entirely safe, unfortunately, says JD on the chat. Exactly, because people from all over the world watch U.S. politics, or they're interested in U.S. politics. And it's because when the United States sniffles, I guess the whole world gets a cold. So, and now that we have a complete madman in charge, shamelessly, we got our work cut out for us. And this is what always strikes me, too, even every day, really. But whenever I see the baboon interacting with world leaders, I think, what the fuck? Like, how much longer are we going to take this? What's wrong with us that we allow this to continue? That the whole world is agreeing that, okay, I guess this thing that is ignorant, that is a liar, that is a grifter, a completely corrupt waste of human DNA, that knows nothing about history, much less reality, much less humanity, has no emotions save greed, right? Except food goes in here, suck my blah blah blah, my, you know what I mean, my just all these experiences. That's what sociopaths do. They need more and more experiences to fill that empty hole that is their personality, and it will never be filled. That's the issue. And they're very sick and disturbed people. But then, what about us? What about us? Right? How much longer do we allow it to continue? It is about the rest of humanity. I mean, what are we fucking doing here with this thing? What is and why are we allowing it to continue? Really? So, okay, all day, not all day, whatever. I was on Facebook early. I'm just trying to, right now, I'm just processing. Where do we start? Because, do we start at the live fest? I guess so. We could start on Trader Trump's speech to the nation. But I wanted to talk about a couple other things where, because earlier I was on Facebook, and I know that Facebook is it's where older people go now. I don't know, where are the kids going nowadays? And I'm on Facebook. I have, that's how you keep in touch with old friends, classmates, whatnot. And then, of course, I get a lot of friend requests from people who listen to the show. I generally accept them. And there you go, whatever. So, you could, if you want to send me a friend request, go right ahead. If you act normal, I'll let you stay. But if you're a maggot, you're going to have to go. But anyway, the point is that for whatever reason, I saw a few posts from people that I know over the past couple of days that concerned me. And I didn't have the time to get into it because as I tell you all the time, I'm not somebody that can just leave a lie in the middle of the room to fester and stink up the place. But a couple of things that I saw were the testament to the power of propaganda, frankly. And I knew a couple of the posts were from people that I know are Republican, unfortunately. One of them is a gay person. I have discussed her before with you guys. We'll get into it. She's posted something, and anyway, well, I guess I'll save it for when we get there. But this is a problem, which brings us to what happened last night. I didn't watch the speech. I figured I would watch whatever breakdown of the speech because I could barely stand it. We knew what it was going to be about. We knew that he's going to lie. Every fucking day he lies. Every time Trader Trump opens his mouth, outpours a lie. It's Boudica down there. You can see her tail. Hey, Booty. What the hell's going on? So that's the other thing. I was pleasantly surprised that 2 out of the 3 major networks didn't carry the speech. Good. But then one of the posts from someone I knew on Facebook was complaining about how the poor dear leader is being picked upon. Now, the person who posted that is someone I knew from Staten Island, and personally, between you and me, not that smart, not a smart person. So they are clearly a product of their environment and propaganda. So they're surrounded by Trumpanzees. They live on Staten Island. There's the social contagion there, and they're not very smart. They're not, whatever. I don't know. But trust me, this particular person is on all kinds of public assistance, okay? So this is what we're dealing with. There is some kind of disconnect going on, and it is yes, it's the power of propaganda, but there's also missed opportunities with the Democrats who simply don't know how to message for whatever reason. And I'm here to help them. I wish that they would listen to the show, frankly. The Democrats, I know that you guys, right, I'm glad that you're here. But I'm talking about like the Democrats in the halls of power who are, that's why when we get bigger name guests on the show who are in the halls of power, I do try to plant these seeds and say, would you please pass it on to your friends in the halls of power, the elected Dems, that there is a way to message these things. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. We're lowering this. Those are the music cues for the Political Voices app. So just keep them in mind for those who are new and don't know what those are. It's just the show is played on Sunday on Political Voices app, and those are the music cues that tell me I have to cut the show there. And they put commercials there. Okay, what the hell am I doing? I'm trying to find this. There we go. Breaking news. Not this. Okay. Just to have, we'll talk about this. Okay. Right-wing media does what they always do. They just took Trader Trump's lies and repeated them. That's it. And what happened yesterday? So he used the power of his office, the power of all the weight that entails, and used it to rehash pretty much the same old lies and conspiracy theories that we've been dealing with and debunking. That's what's so fucking exhausting, really, dealing with Republicans. And it's one of my big bones of contention is that it never matters. It doesn't matter how many times you debunk or correct the lies. They will hang on to their misinformation and never let it go. They'll suck on that shit like a baby sucking a binky. It's their security blanket. I guess it allows them to be what? I guess it, when we really think about it, let me think about this. Let me process this as if I'm in my therapist's office. Let me see. Why do they hold on to the ignorance? Because and we were talking about this the other day. If we found out suddenly that giving all the money and wealth or the tax breaks, allowing the rich to ride us mercilessly to the bank unfettered by pesky government, if that actually trickled down and created a shared prosperity and freedom and upward mobility, then we would be all for it. I would be. I would say, sit on this show and say, mea culpa, I was wrong, and now we're going to promote tax cuts and deregulation, right? I mean, because the point is the policies, it's not the policies themselves, it's the results. It's making a world and making a country that works for all, that works for more than just Elon Musk and Trader Trump. And it just doesn't work, though. The point of the Republicans, the reason they keep pushing it, though, is because for them, it does work. But they can't come out and say that because what they're trying to do is create the upward immobility and the income disparity. They want to drag us back to the system that the founders fought a revolution to overthrow, where the rich run and rule and everyone else awaits their rewards in heaven. That's what they're doing. But they can't come right out and say that. So they talk about freedom and they point fingers at the vulnerable and the politically unconnected, and they divide. All the while waving the flag and talking about mom and apple pie and USA, 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 right? So just like what we're witnessing here, this monster, this malignant cancer in the body politic, Trader Trump, dumping all these documents as if that's proof. Because because here's the other thing, they count on the stupidity of the people who follow Trump not to do their own research. You know, the do your own research crowd, that's all bullshit too. They don't do their own research. They read a meme. They get a fucking meme from somebody. These are meme university dropouts. And then they pass on the meme. That's about it. That's the extent of their research, is getting a meme, a poorly sourced meme from another right-wing outlet. And it's probably from the bowels of the Kremlin, frankly. Not even from some sincere asshole who puts together a meme, you know, in the basement of his mom's house. But so this is a right-wing rag here. I came across this Main Wire, it's called, and all they did, I read about it. I was reading all these different articles, and this Main Wire is a right-wing rag. And let me see if I can go to the, oh God. This is a, you know, it's not a sex site, but you know how right-wing rags are? They're very salacious. They do things like that. They're very clickbaity too. But where is the, it's not even on the front page anymore, is it? Trump's speech. Well, that says a lot. Marxism in Maine. Jesus Christ. Well, I picked this site because it had all these charts and everything, and it took a lot of screen grabs from the actual document dump that Trader Trump vomited or triped out, whatever you call it. So, in a primetime address paired with a document release, is that like a full release? Release the Epstein files, why don't you? While you're full releasing. Do us a favor. But we're still waiting for them, even though he's credibly accused of committing crimes against children all over that place. Oh, and by the way, he did have to pay E. Jean Carroll. He just paid her over $5 million for sexually assaulting her in the dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman. What a disgrace. Oh, but it's all lies. Everything's busted, broken, rigged. Loony liberals. They're just trying to get that poor put upon blue collar billionaire. All he ever tried to do was make America great by trying to steal elections and check off every item on Putin's wish list. Jesus Christ. And suck money from suckers everywhere. You know, Trader Trump, he's no great innovator. What has he ever done? Oh, he's a great businessman. What businesses? What fucking businesses, maggots? Please. What has he done? Oh, he slapped his name on some tacky hotels that failed, and he had a multi-level marketing vitamin scam, all kinds of scams. He cycled through different scam after scam after scam. Now, what successful businessman has a multi-level marketing vitamin scam? Anybody? Right? Oh, he's just a sucker. Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. And here comes Trader Trump, the carnival barker. And they line up and open their wallets, these dupes. Just tell them what they want to hear. So, okay, this is a document dump, and in this main write-up, it doesn't prove anything, right? This is the part of the con, you see? It gives the veneer of transparency, because he said, oh, this is the most transparent administration that's ever lived, like nobody's ever seen. supposedly. Or so he says. But this is the illusion of transparency. But there's a lot of redactions in there, and according to sources, the redactions are if you unredact them, those who in the know say it proves the exact opposite of what this fucking piece of shit is saying. This is how much he hates this country. This is, I mean, what the fuck? Excuse me, I'm trying not to curse as much. But what did we do to deserve this? I do know the answer to that. Yeah, we've had, we had, we're founded in racism, slavery. We've never reconciled our racist ass history. We've never had that truth and reconciliation that we truly need to make a more perfect union. Genocide, slavery, all of that. We have, if we actually want to be a great country and move forward together, we have to come together and have that conversation, which we will never have with Republicans in charge, because they don't want us to have it. Because they know how necessary it is. They want us divided. They want us at each other's throats. But, okay, well, that's another conversation for another day. We have one priority right now, and that is to make sure that the coup, that Traitor Trump's coup, is not successful. His second attempted coup is not successful. That's what we witnessed last night. It is the setup for the coup. This is the authoritarian attempt, and rigging elections is part of it. And what do? What does an authoritarian do? They accuse their opponent of the very thing of which they are guilty, of they themselves are guilty. So they're crying, fraud, election fraud, stealing, rigging. No one's doing that but him. No one is rigging elections. No one is making elections vulnerable like this piece of dirt. Really. Everything that they talk about, everything that they accuse Democrats of doing, is the very thing that they're doing. So this is document dump. It's not evidence. The speech, and then Maine covering it as if this particular right-wing rag, but this was emblematic across the board. They just cover it as if it's sincere, as if he is sincerely concerned about our elections being somehow stolen from him. If they were, if only, for fuck's sake, we wouldn't be dealing with this shit. If only. To what end, too? If the Democrats are stealing elections, to what fucking end? Okay? So we can all have health care? Is that why they're stealing it? So we can all have a union representing us? Or at least 35% of the workforce, and that'll lift the floor for all of us. The rich can get taxed so we can all go to fucking college, or if we want, and not come out of higher education as a indentured servant to a bank. Is that it? Is that what we're doing? So we can fund things that actually that bring meaning to life, that give meaning, that invest in each other and the future. Medicine, science, humanities, our bureaucracy. So when we call the VA or the Social Security Administration, they pick up on the first ring. Could you imagine that? Or we go to our national parks, they're not overflowing, the fucking toilets aren't overflowing, and you don't have to wait 4 hours in line to get in because there are people working there like it was before the pricks got back in office. Is that, like, to what end are we rigging the elections? And we must not be doing it very well, because here he is. Here's the baboon back in the office, stealing from the American people again, fucking smashing his way all over the globe. 80-year-old baboon who never gets enough money in that gaping black hole. Can't take it with you, baboon. I thought you were like Jesus. You love Jesus. You're healing. 2 Corinthians came into a bar and fucking healed, and they bought some crypto, I guess. Right? They bought some crypto. They paid off a porn star. They rigged an election. They called up the Secretary of State of Georgia and said, I need you to find me the votes to win. All because they were making America great again. They were making, whatever, Babylonia great again. Babylonia. I wish I was in fucking Babylonia. Really, anywhere but here. Why don't you move? Love it or leave it. We love America, okay? The people who are fighting for a more perfect union, for e pluribus unum, for leaving no one behind, for bringing the promises of America to fruition. The same promises that all these friggin' flying monkey maggots, they all want. Rest assured, the maggots, they're all on some kind of Social Security, public assistance. Not that there's anything wrong with that. People need in this day and age. I have nothing against public assistance. I believe that people should be able to get through this friggin' life in the richest country on earth, that no one should go hungry, that no one should live on the streets, that people should be able to go to a doctor. So, and every dollar in public assistance returns $1.60 in economic stimulus. Unlike tax cuts to billionaires and corporations that do nothing except sit in offshore accounts or rig elections, right? Where they can buy politicians and rig elections to make sure that it stays that way. But we'll get to that more. Or how do you put that? Get to that more? I don't know, whatever. I can't talk tonight. Just tonight? Oh, I'm in such a mood. Really. Maybe I'd be fucking happier if I was in Ireland. Oh, okay. I'm happy to be... Elizabeth says, I'm happy to be a backup moderator. Yeah, sure. Why not? There you go. There you go. How's that? Thank you, Elizabeth, for stepping up. Is Jim here? He's our chief cook and bottle washer here. All right, and we got Susie. Nice to see you, Susie. Thank you for being a moderator. All right, more moderators the better. And we have Andrea over on Twitch, keeping us safe. You need moderators this day and age, with maggots running around like they got something to say. I wish they did, though. Or he's like, why can't we get along? Why can't we just have opinions? Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. I better calm down and breathe. So here we go. Trader Trump's document dump is nothing but spin. It's not evidence. Whatever he put up there, it's actually the illusion of evidence. This is what he does. It's like what he said to Zelensky. I need you to announce an investigation into Joe Biden. You don't actually have to do the investigation. I just need the headlines. This is what he's talking about. It's the veneer of transparency. Oh, look, we have all this proof. So here's what you read. When you actually read the documents, there's a very different picture that emerges. If you, instead of taking the lies that come out of Trader Trump's mouth, like like the maggots do. They just sit there like baby birds with their beaks open, being fed these lies, and just then they mindlessly gobble up and regurgitate. But intelligence assessments say, in general, the normal intelligence, not maggot intelligence, which is minimal and corrupt, but the actual intelligence, the patriots, the ones who don't hate America and have an agenda to destroy it for traitor Trump. They say that large-scale manipulation of American voting systems would be difficult to accomplish without detection, in the very least, and nothing in these documents show that any votes were changed in U.S. elections. And when he says that Venezuela and China, he doesn't mention Russia. Russia. This, I'm so, you know what I mean? Like, Russia. You can't even say Russia without saying Russia, because of this fucking prick. But he says it because, what? Because of the Brady Bunch, right? Marsha. This is how fucking inane this timeline is. The effing President of the United States. Russia. No collusion. Yeah, no, bitch, there was collusion. And it was Russia. That has you by the balls. They don't even have to have you by the balls. You put your balls in their hands willingly, eagerly. And then you went on Twitter and said, "Can Putin be my best friend?" What a bitch. What a weak-ass bitch. No wonder they're all pining for T, low T. They're all obsessed with testosterone. And they're all, like, gay somewhere. Not that, I mean, I'm gay. But they're fucking gay. Just get help and be gay, okay? Just be gay, maggots. Go out, make love, fall into the arms of a big, strong man and weep. That's what you need. It's very cathartic. I mean, not for me, but it's, if you're gay, I can imagine, if you're a man and you are gay and you're so repressed and you hate yourself, there will be nothing more life-affirming than just falling into the arms of a big, strong man, letting him embrace you and hold you, and you just weep it out. And stop wasting your life being a horrible person, being an ugly, in-the-closet, hateful, hate-mongering dupe who inflicts your manias outwards on everyone else. Get help. There's a blip of time that we're sharing together. It's gonna be gone in an instant, and you will be gone for a long time, forever. That's it. This is it. Whether you think you're gonna go sit in a mansion with who? Please. Oh my God. But that's why they're all like low T, look at me. They have, that's what we're talking about with toxic masculinity. Being a douchebag. Being a horrible douchebag, where they're all like, no fat, no, all these buff, this one's out of central casting, and they worry about, like, all these superficial media constructions right out of like some gay porn mag. Jeez. Hegseth has problems. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a closet case. That's why he has to sexually assault women. He hates women. And that's why he's an alcoholic. You don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. About a guy I know from the rooms of recovery. And I was in the service, so you guys know. And he was in the service himself. We didn't serve together. But he was gay, okay? Gay, all day. And he could not accept it. And he kept relapsing. And last time I saw him, which was not too long ago, and he wasn't doing good. I'm talking like years. This fucking 18, 19, 20 years knowing this guy who is struggling because he cannot accept himself. Unfortunately, he hates himself, but he's fucking gay. And last time I saw him, I think he had like a couple of days sober, and he was like, oh, I'm married now to a woman. And he's fucking gay. No wonder you're slipping and sliding like Nancy Kerrigan. You're gay. Just be gay, okay? Who cares? Especially now. That's my advice. Just be gay. The poor woman, frankly. Right? Yes, I did serve during Don't Ask, Don't Tell myself, and it sucked. But I couldn't help but tell. So, but whatever, nothing ever happened. There was a lot of people in there telling, too. But anyway. Yeah, it's so true. JD Christie on the chat says recovery is impossible without honesty. And if you're in recovery, you know that. Yes, exactly. That's what it says in the literature, too. So, what does it say? Many of us have grave emotional disturbances or problems, but can recover if we have the capacity to be honest. And then it talks about that one of the major obstacles is the incapacity to be honest. There are such unfortunates. They seem to have been born that way, right? So, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? But there you go. And it's very tragic. When I saw him again, I hadn't seen him in a long time. I was like, holy shit, now you're married? Oh, that poor girl. It really is no fair. That's the whole thing. That's what maggotry does to you. Congratulations, Christina. I've been in recovery sober for 15 years. Nice. We're in good company. 18 years here, so yes. One day at a time. But I'm breaking the traditions by saying that, press, radio, and film type deal. Personal and anonymity. But I talk about being in recovery. And the reason that's I don't have anything to hide, I feel. And talking about it might actually help somebody. And it also just lays it all out there. You know what I mean? So nobody can use it against you. It's not a secret. And what do I have to be ashamed about? Exactly. There's no shame. No shame in the game. So, even though maggots have tried to shame me about it, but they shame themselves. It's like what they do to Hunter Biden. They only shame themselves, really. Hunter Biden, there's nobody more courageous than that. And then that's compassionate conservatism, again. They come out, Hunter Biden comes out, he tells his story, his addiction story, he's honest about it. And what do? They mock him. So what message does that send to those who might need to get clean and sober? It tells them that they have something to be ashamed about. And it keeps people sick. And this is what maggotry is, It just keeps the people sick, man. And thinking about that guy, who's in the closet and slipping and sliding for 20-something years now. And the woman he married, that's what the sickness does. It's like maggotry. And the disease, of addiction, and just, you take everybody with you. So that it's not just you who suffers. It's like, everybody suffers. The whole fucking society suffers by this. But that's why, and we're all fucking suffering. We're suffering with this baboon lording over us disgracefully. So, okay, back to what he was saying. Let me see. So here's some receipts. He said that China, voter data, and the same old fear-mongering, right? He said China messed with U.S. elections by accessing voter information. He mentioned nothing about the fact that Paul Manafort actually gave the Russians micro-targeting information, voter information about different communities here in the United States, so they could micro-target them with their disinformation ads on Facebook and whatnot. He didn't say anything about that, and Paul Manafort pled guilty to that. We have him dead to rights. This is Trader Trump's, what was he, his campaign manager? So they're all corrupt, the whole thing. It's not a political party anymore. It is a corruption machine that generates money and power and wealth for themselves and their rich friends. And it doesn't matter if you're an American. It's not about waving the flag or advancing the interests of the country. No, no, no. It's about themselves, a cabal, however you fucking pronounce it, of sociopaths who want us. We're like Soylent Green to them. That's it. We're the grist for the mill. We are the fuel that Ayn Rand calls us. The fuel for, how did she put it? What are the masses but fuel for those who deserve it? Fucking sick bastards, really. So the implication is that Beijing had some kind of secret backdoor into the voting machines and used it to swing elections for Democrats. To what end, I have no idea, right? Because I didn't know that Beijing was so invested in us having universal health care, right? Or like, you know what I mean? Is that what Beijing wanted? They didn't want Trump in there because why? Because they didn't want Trump to have a tacky hotel in their country. Was that it? So Beijing was all in for Democrats because they wanted what? To what end? Now we know why Russia, and we know why China wanted Trader Trump in office. They put their thumb on the scale for him because he will destroy this country without firing a shot. He's already doing it, pulling us back from the soft power that we once wielded all over the globe. Our good name, he's destroyed. Now when destroying USAID, what do you think? Who do you think moved in? China. So, yeah, it makes sense that they would want Trader Trump in there, who, as we know, conversely, when Hillary Clinton was running, Putin didn't want her because she was going to be harder on him and he couldn't manipulate her. Jesus Christ, these bastards. So going back, there's intelligence reporting going back to 2008 saying that China collecting information on U.S. voters and public opinion and political parties, this is what they do. But the data was not confidential, and there's no evidence that any of this changed votes. We collect data and information on other countries' elections. We do the same thing. We collect data on public opinion, political parties, and other countries. It's the same thing. That's not rigging elections. And the assessment said that China sought to collect information and considered influence operations. Not that it altered ballots or rigged the tabulation system or anything. It didn't get into the voting machines. It considered an influence operation. Yeah, Russia was engaged in an influence operation. We have them dead to rights. And they were pouring their disinformation all over Twitter and Facebook for maggots to spread amongst themselves, and they created Facebook groups that tricked maggots into holding events in real life when their strings were being pulled from the bowels of the Kremlin. But we played the video before of the reporter going to tell the poor dumb bitch who was the moderator of one of these Facebook pages that was being run from the Kremlin, that the reporter went to tell her that this was a Russian influence campaign, it was a psyops, and she's like, "You're fake news." See, that is the Trump influence of devaluing truth. Fake news. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe what I tell you. That's the poison in our body politic that he has spread. And the dumbasses, and this is what gets me too, because if you are a patriot, you would be offended by that. You would be offended that a baboon like Trump, anybody, you would just take Trump out of it. You would be offended that somebody thinks you so stupid that they lie to you, that they tell you, don't believe the media, don't believe the press, the only profession enshrined in the Constitution as being necessary for a free country. Don't believe the press, believe me. You would be insulted by that if you're a patriot, and you wouldn't fall for it. You would reject it out of hand, but not maggots. So, oh, brother. And then he went on about non-citizens voting. This is all bullshit. It always has been. They have never produced anything real about this. And in this main article, they try to resurrect one of Trump's favorite hobby horses, which is the idea that non-citizen voter rolls prove elections are overrun with illegals voting. It's bullshit. Nothing is more bullshit. Illegals, undocumented immigrants, first of all, commit less crimes than native-born people because they don't want to encounter the authorities. It makes sense. Think about it, maggots. Get your ass out of Trader Trump's taint for a second and here in reality and think about it. Just think. If you're an undocumented person, you're not going to present yourself at a polling place on election day and try to vote. Because you can get caught, bitch. And you will get caught. In fact, there are many instances, this is what we find out after the election, of people fraudulently voting, and it's usually a right-winger from the villages because they've been listening to Trader Trump's bullshit, and they vote on their dead mother's ballot or something like that. Or, it happens. Or one guy went and he voted in a new place that he moved to, and then he drove and voted in his old neighborhood where he was still on the rolls. But he was caught. And the fact that he was caught means that the fucking system works. But it doesn't mean even that one vote is not really going to swing much. But he was caught and he paid the price. He paid, they went, I don't know what happened, but I think he went, they do face accountability. They throw the book at these people. It's not like there's no consequences to it. So, but it works because they were caught. So, Republicans, they suck. Okay, they don't have fucking any solutions for anything. They're the problem, and they make up shit. And now here we are fighting over elections, whether the elections are free and fair. Of course they are. If they weren't, Trader Trump would not be in office right now. God help us. I wish Hillary and the Democrats were that sinister, for fuck's sake. These are people that, what the hell? I mean, when Mitch McConnell blocked Obama from, and us, the people who voted for Obama in 2 landslide elections, overwhelmingly, to have the constitutionally proscribed role of putting a Supreme, or nominating a Supreme Court justice. I wish the Democrats were that sinister, that they didn't take it. They didn't just take it lying down, as they did when Mitch McConnell said that he wasn't going to have any hearings for Merrick the Meek. Yeah, the Democrats are so sinister. They just rolled over. Jesus Christ. I wish they were the things that they, I guess it's true. You know, I always say I wish that Republicans were the Christians they pretend to be. I wish they were the patriots they pretend to be. And I wish that that the Democrats were the sinister game players that Republicans say that they are. Really. I'd probably curse a lot less. So, let me see. Serious reviews say that independent studies show that non-citizen voting is rare. When states deeply verify eligibility, only about 0.04% of cases turn out to be non-citizens, and usually it's because they made a mistake. They didn't know they couldn't vote. It's not anything nefarious, and certainly not in mass. It's not a systematic thing going on. Maine's own experience with Trump's now defunct Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity is instructive. After reviewing nearly 2,000 commission documents, Maine's Secretary of State said they did not show evidence of the widespread fraud Trump promised to uncover, and that the commission had a preordained outcome to declare fraud without proof. Well, there you go. What do you know? That's the whole plot. They gave away the game, and that's what Trump is up to now. The reason he did that speech last night was to set the groundwork, to lay the ground for the coup that's coming in November. He's going to get his ass whipped in November, and what's going to happen is, hold on, and I'll tell you. What's going to happen in November? He's going to get his ass whipped, and he's going to say after the fact that it was stolen and rigged, and they're going to try to seize ballots, and it might come down to Mike Johnson, if he, well, I guess he will still be the Speaker of the House because he won't swear in new members. That's what's going to happen. And then what? He's going to throw this country into a constitutional crisis, We're already in a crisis with him in office, this lying piece of dirt. So, I don't know. Yeah, Bald Thanos says, Tara, this has crossed my mind too. Tara, what happens if us Democrats don't win because they play dirty? It does concern me. I think about what happened in the presidential election. I'm very sus about, did Trump win this election? The fact that he won all the swing states, and then we have Elon Musk and Trump, Freudian slip, talking about how they won the election, they rigged the election, or something, and then the girlfriend, Elon Musk's girlfriend coming out saying that he told her that they manipulated the votes or something. I don't know. I got to look it up how it went down. But that just says, yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility that this fucking asshole, Elon Musk, who has the power to shut off the satellites in the middle of a battle when our allies are fighting for their lives, and that he doesn't have, that he has control over, somehow he has the means to get into these electronic voting machines. I wonder about this. Right. Oh, God. Elon Musk's SpaceX lost $1 trillion. Yep. Well, he's still sitting pretty, though, right? That's all that matters. God, when will there be any kind of accountability? Can you believe this? Yeah, Elon Musk. Where is this? SpaceX. I didn't even plan on talking about this, but unbelievable that these are the masters of the universe, that we're supposed to genuflect to these fuckers, that they rule, they run everything, they run and rule, and we all just scrape by. Right? And but what's worse is that the maggots and maggot adjacent people, they think that this is normal. It's the way it should be. Yeah, SpaceX stock continued lower on Friday as the space exploration and artificial intelligence company moved toward erasing more than $1 trillion from its peak market value. The share pared some losses after declining as much as 6.9% in the morning, giving the company a market capitalization of $1.6 trillion. The company's peaked at $2.64 trillion. Fucking unreal. Elon Musk's firm, which surged following the largest initial IPO in history, has declined. Now trades below $135 IPO price. Friday's drop followed the company's decision to abort a Starship rocket launch because of an engine problem. SpaceX said it would attempt the launch again in a few days. Blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit. Elon Musk needs to be stripped of his ill-gotten gains and deported to The Hague immediately. That's what's so sickening, too. When you think about the sinister Dems. What about when Elon Musk was, I guess, it was during the Obama administration, where Elon Musk was pretending he was a Democrat, and Obama was praising him to the hilt. He got a bulk of his money from Obama, from us, from the taxpayers during the Obama years, if we remember correctly. So those are the Democrats, those are the sinister Dems for you. Because Elon Musk said, let's go to Mars, everybody. And they started throwing money at him. Let's go to Mars. Maybe I should, instead of saying, please become a patron, I should say, let's go to Mars. And I'll get, how many? $250 billion? Let's go to Mars, everybody. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Subscribe to my Substack. Give the show a good review on iTunes. And let's go to Mars. Oh, I wish I could go to fucking Mars. Right? Is Trump on Mars yet? I can't wait. When is that great getting up morning? It's getting ridiculous here. All right, Lindsay was a nice surprise. That was hopefully the appetizer. Legally and peacefully. I'm just reviewing the bullshit that Trump poured out. Do you think that Trump actually read these documents that he poured into the empty heads of the maggots? Nah. Well, A Michigan witness, keep in mind what we're looking at here is a right-wing rag, the main wire. A Michigan witness told the FBI canvassers were paid on debit cards to register phony voters and thought the point was to suppress Trump's vote. What is that bullshit? Let me see. Let me look that up. If what bullshit that is. You know it's all bullshit. So the witness story doesn't prove a plot to suppress Trump's vote. It describes a sloppy, partly fraudulent voter registration canvassing that was investigated, caught, and did not result in fraudulent votes being cast. You see, all it takes is a do your own research. 30 seconds. See? All I had to do, right in front of us, right on the Tarabuster show, in real time. I looked at that and said, that doesn't seem quite normal here. Have a good night, strayed 9. Have a good night at work. On the chat, on the Twitch chat. Yeah, so all it took was what was that? Was that a 10-second search? A witness told the FBI canvassers were, excuse me, I didn't say that right. A witness told the FBI canvassers were paid on debit cards to register phony voters and thought the point was to suppress Trump's vote. And that's what they thought. Is that what they thought? Oh my goodness. They thought it? And how do you prove that thought? Is that thought admissible in court? Or is that hearsay or not admissible at all? Well, what actually happened is there was a sloppy, partly fraudulent voter registration canvassing attempt that was investigated, caught, and did not result in fraudulent votes being cast ever. So it was just some bullshit, and then they put it in there, and it just adds to the pile of bullshit, but it gives legitimacy, and there goes the main right-wing rag, including it in their list. So you read it, and a maggot will go, oh my God, they thought it was to suppress Trump's vote. And why? How do you suppress Trump's vote? If you want to vote for Trump, fucking vote for him. Suppress the vote. You know how you suppress it? You do it like how the maggots are doing it, how the Supreme Court's doing it, and the Republicans are doing it. You gerrymander people out of their power. You dilute the power of a district by separating the Democrats and putting them into secure Republican districts. So you nullify their vote. That's how you do it. You can also kick them off the rolls in general for whatever reason. Maybe you pass the SAVE Act, and women who changed their names when they got married now are all of a sudden all off the rolls. Because unless they register again, somehow they got to get their birth certificates, they got to jump through a bunch of hoops. You put up the barriers and you make it almost next to impossible in this country where people are working 3 uniquely American low-paying jobs. They don't have the time. They don't have, the money, some of them, to get these documents. So you take it from there. You kick as many people off as you can in all different ways. No one could ever accuse Republicans of not being creative when it comes to kicking people off the voting rolls. as Paul Weyrich said, the founder of the Heritage Foundation, we don't want everybody to vote. The elections are not won on people voting. In fact, he said our leverage in the election goes up as the voting populace goes down. Yeah, what? There's a bug in here. I have some bananas out. Oh no, I think I left them out too long. You know, bananas. Now I have a fruit fly. Oh boy. I don't like that. All right, whatever. We got problems. We better stay on our toes. Let's not rest on our laurels thinking that we're going to win the election just because Republicans suck. Democrats have to have an idea. We have to be not an idea. We have to have we have to be like Republicans in the way that they're all gas, no brakes, and we have to just be unapologetic about what we're doing. Well, I think I was talking to Andrea earlier about Bashir and Mitch McConnell. What he needs to do. You know, Mitch McConnell's missing. Is he still missing as I'm talking? Let's see. Yeah, he's still missing. What? Oh shit. Oh shit. I just shut my Chrome. I hope I'm still streaming. Oh, brother. Am I still streaming? I probably am, right? Checking. I just... Okay, we're still going, right? I just, I don't know what I did. I hit the wrong button in Chrome. What? We're still going, right, guys? Please. Just... Hello. All right, yes. I just, okay, good, we're back. We're not back. We're still streaming. Okay, good. Because I streamed through Chrome, and I fucking quit Chrome by accident. So that's good to know it's still going. I guess I would have to quit Ecamm for it to disconnect completely, I hope. Is that how it works? Man, I hope there's there must be a fail-safe in there. That's good. All right. Hello, can you hear me? Yes. All right, good. Still streaming. What was I saying? Fuck. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Mitch McConnell. We were talking about how Andy Bashir, because this Mitch McConnell is still missing, and there is kind of a pretty good suspicion that he might not be amongst the living at this moment. And how dare they? It goes to show you, this shows you everything about Republicans. They don't serve the American people. They just want to hold power. Everything that they accuse Democrats of doing, right? They insist that Democrats will do anything for power. Well, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, I remember saying, like, why did they report it so quickly? They should have done like a Henry VII and kept it under wraps for a week at least until we could get to the new election. Okay, come on. Here comes Tara Jr. He's trying to get over here. All right. Everybody say hi. It is Friday. Hi, honey. Isn't he good? He's a good boy. I know. You got to be good, though. But so Andrea and I, we were talking about it, and I said that what Bashir should do is put it out there and say, we need proof of life. If McConnell does not call my office or video call the office in the next 24 hours, I will appoint a new senator. And it will be a Democrat. I don't give a shit what the Republicans pass to try to limit my power. Sue me. Fuck you, sue me. And that's exactly what Obama should have done. He should have put Merrick the Meek on the court and told the Republicans, fuck you, sue me. But this is not how Democrats roll. Let's see. Proof of life. Let's get a different one. Oh, wait. 2 days ago, though, it says the Mitch McConnell mystery is solved. But it doesn't look good for America? When does it look good for America? Fucking shit. Like any good proof of life photo, it featured that day's newspaper, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. That tells us nothing. Can we ever get a headline that's like, this is great news for America? Why people think Mitch McConnell is hiding something. Here's another article about it. So we still haven't seen him. This says everything about what Republicans think about their offices and the American people. I always call them the American people they pretend to represent, because they're not representing the people. How dare you? If you work for a company, you work in a private company, you think that they would allow you to disappear for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you could still continue to collect a check? That wouldn't be allowed, and no one would stand for it. But Mitch McConnell doesn't work for the American people, you see. He works for power, his own power, the power of the Republican Party, and they'll do anything to keep that power. The people are just a pesky aspect standing in the way of that power. Go away, you gnats. It's like that fucking fruit fly flying around here. Get away. Ugh. I don't owe you an explanation. Who cares? Live or die, this is my seat. I'm going to sit in the seat whether I'm alive or dead. Who cares? It's like, now Trump is saying he wants, what's his face, Lindsey Graham's sister to run for the seat permanently. And she'll probably do it. And God knows the people of South Carolina will probably vote for her, because they've been voting for Lindsey and they ain't got shit for it. They ain't got shit to show for it, but the ability to misgender people and then high five each other. Oh God, while Granny starves and another hospital closes, right? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, okay. Everything sucks. Let's go to this other thing I wanted to talk about. And it was, I guess we'll talk about these. Here's the thing that really annoyed me earlier. We'll start here. A couple of things. When I was on Facebook earlier, these are posts. I just grabbed the memes that I came across. I'm not naming names. You don't need to know who posted these. They're personal friends of mine or people I know. And it was just like one of those days too, where all of those who are right wing that I happen to know and are on my Facebook, they were posting a lot of things, but it may not be one of those days though, actually, now that I'm processing it. we all know right-wingers, they don't know how to behave, okay? And they don't know what's appropriate. And for example, I have a personal Facebook page, and I have my Tarabuster Facebook page for the show. That's where I post all my political stuff, on the Tarabuster Facebook page. I generally don't do it on the personal Facebook page. That's where, I don't know, I don't really post a lot on there anyway. But, I'll post about major things, whatever. And comment on other people's stuff and stay in touch with people I know that live in other places, or see their pictures, you know what I mean? Things like that, and say, oh, beautiful, congratulations, happy birthday, that kind of shit. I don't stand there generally, or whatever, sit there, whatever you do, and try to have arguments about politics. I take it generally to my Tarabuster page. There's a time and a place for things, I believe. Okay, I don't fault people, but because I don't think things should be left rotting in the middle of the floor to stink up the place. But I came across this, and given the person who posted it, I know that she is a Republican. She's also gay, which drives me fucking insane. And for years, I've known her many years, and we go back to like the Bush administration, the first one. And I have constantly tried to steer her in the right direction. And we've talked, I think I've brought her up before. I remember talking about her, telling you about, I work in TV, you guys know, and there was like that's how I know this person. And there was a mass layoff. She was in the mass layoff and was able to get by thanks to all of the benefits that liberals fought, bled, and died for. Thank you. And we were reminding her, you have your health insurance still, thanks to what's his name, Ted Kennedy's Cobra. Thank you. The people that she constantly railed against. All right, go ahead, honey. Just have to put him down. He was trying to get down. And we have to connect the dots for these people a lot, They live in a world, they don't seem to understand that they're voting for their own demise. They're not helping. Like I say, they want all the benefits of civilization. They want it for themselves. They just don't want any of the responsibilities we have to each other, right? So she writes, you can't disagree with anyone anymore about anything and not lose the friendship. How did we get here? And that really annoyed the fuck out of me, because what are you talking about? You can't disagree with anyone about anything anymore and not lose the friend. Now, what could you be disagreeing about? And knowing who this person is, I know, and also knowing how Republicans are whining. Okay, they're perpetual whiners, professional victims, and they're all joining in the chorus of this, saying how we can't disagree. I just have a different opinion. And the other day we were talking about this too on Tarabuster. I showed that cartoon of that, the maggot man standing there. I just have a different opinion. And he's all sad because all those bitch liberal women are standing around him, calling him names like racist and everything that he is, everything that he's voting for. But they can't, this is what gets on my nerves. They're looking for a pass. They want complete absolution for their part in the death of the American experiment. And not just the policies, the country itself. They are literally hurting people. People are dead because of their fucking votes. Okay? There are women who died out in parking lots. There are 168 Iranian school children dead. How about the 13 service members dead? How about the 10 million Americans that have no health care now? And all of the people all over the world who are dead because of the demise of USAID, the death, the murder of USAID, because of their vote. That's what sickens me about maggots. They want to wash their hands. We're not supposed to connect the dots. They're supposed to be completely absolved of the part that they play in this debacle, in this degrading timeline. Disgusting. If we just disagree, the can't we just disagree line works, right? If your disagreement is about, I don't know, whether the top marginal tax rate should be 35% or 39%. It doesn't work when the difference of opinion is whether your trans neighbor is allowed to access basic medical care without the state stepping in to criminalize their doctor or themselves, trying to legislate them out of existence. It doesn't work when the political project you're backing strips millions of Americans of health care that already. How about reproductive freedom? Freedom itself treats this administration, this maladministration that treats global humanitarian obligations as some kind of thing to be jettisoned, that's getting in the way of our greatness. Give me a break. At a certain point, these different opinions that they're talking about, I can't even talk, about policies that shorten lives, that entrench misery, and that lock in authoritarian power, that turn America into an authoritarian shithole. And people are affected directly. There is a body count to this. Poor people, trans people, women, immigrants, working class communities, the Haitian communities, eating cats and dogs. How fucking dare you say, can't we just disagree, or we can't talk about anything anymore? Well, what is it? How did we get here? Oh, yes, because you're the victim in this, right? You voted for a malignancy. You voted for a cancer, and somebody called you out on it and isn't willing to put up with your bullshit and your denial, and you're the victim now. How did we get here? We used to be able to simply disagree. Well, that's when we were disagreeing about top marginal tax rates or deregulation, or we weren't disagreeing about whether this thing, the grand experiment in liberal democracy, survives. For God's sakes. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. And this is the end of the political voices, or the progressive voices part of the show. I can't believe that. It went by so fast. Oh, thank you very much. Please become a patron, patreon.com/Tara-Devlin. The show's not over. So come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to hang out with the greatest chat room in American history and watch the rest of the show. All right, we will win. Thank you, Charlie. APS Radio News. We stick together. We win. Hold on. I'll see you soon. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Somebody, please. Please, guys. Give me a good review. All right. Yeah, right. Right. I'm looking at the chat. If you stand for nothing, what will you fall for? I don't know. Uh-oh. Is this show still going? Is this thing on? Please tell me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, it is. Okay. Son of a bitch. Yes. We got here screaming at the top of our lungs for them not to vote for him and fell on deaf ears. Exactly, Elizabeth. Exactly. Right? That's what's so annoying with these people. These maggots. Now, I didn't get into it with this person, but I will. Because, like I said, I can't let the shit just stink up the room unchallenged. But, I don't know what they said to, in general, to trigger this whine. And that's what it is. It's another example of how clueless maggots are. And they like to whine, and they want to, I guess, believe that they're good people doing good things. So I know this because I know this person personally, and I've had numerous arguments with them about being a Republican. And I'm pretty sure, because what she would always tell me is, I'm a fiscal Republican. It's fiscal. Fuck you and your fiscal. First of all, you're a dumb bitch, okay? And I would say this to her face, lovingly, legally and peacefully and lovingly, because you're dumb. You're a dupe. Fiscal, my white Irish ass. Republicans suck at fiscal. You want to talk about fiscal responsibility? The Republicans wrap themselves in fiscal responsibility, right? We're the adults. All that means is they're assholes, they're cruel, and they will slap food out of a grandmother's mouth or a baby's mouth. That's it. If it meant if they can give a tax break to Elon Musk. That's what they're talking about when they're talking about fiscal anything. It's kick down. It's kiss up, kick down. It's not fiscal because Republicans make the economy suck. And I'm not just talking for working people. They make it suck. They make it good for the rich. They make the rich richer. That's it. They make everything suck for everybody. The whole world sucks when they are in charge. Even for the rich, I argue, because it turns them into whiny little bitches who can never get enough. It turns them into an unbearable little whiners, sick, like hoarders, hoarding newspapers. Oh, it'll never be enough. I need another zero on my bank account. It's never enough. And they become unbearable twats that we have to endure. And what do they bring to the table? Nothing but greed. Nothing. They're not fucking doing anything. Who the fuck is Elon Musk? We don't need him at the helm saying, let's go to Mars. Go fuck you. Go to Mars, okay? Take your ketamine, put on a virtual reality headset, and go to Mars, okay? Just fuck off, please. Impregnate somebody. Again, another one of your fucking trad wives somewhere that you find on Twitter, that you slide into their DMs, and next thing you know, you're sending them your sperm. Like, go away, you fucking sick fucks. You sick sociopaths. You are damaged, you're self-loathing, you're inflicting your shit on this world, and just go fuck off, please, to Mars. We don't need you to say, let's go to Mars. Everything that Elon Musk is in charge of, he glommed onto like a parasite, just like Trader Trump. Things are going and existing. All that Elon Musk ever does when he inflicts himself on a situation is he makes it worse. He stresses people out. He fires people. He causes everyone who's left that doesn't get fired to work, to never have a life, to just work. Well, they were doing fine without you, Elon Musk, you piece of shit. We don't need you to fire people and go waste, fraud, and abuse and innovation or whatever they say, because everything you do, you destroy. And that's what they did to this country. When this Doge bullshit, all he did was fuck shit up, make shit worse. Now we got ass exploding lettuce. Now, what else is next? You don't think that's a result of the fact that they fired experts? We have screw worms, diarrhea, fucking lettuce. Is that what a shining city on a hill? That's what the greatest country on earth, the shining city on a hill, has no health care. We got fucking string worms, screw worms, ass exploding lettuce. And low T. All the men have low T. Well, that's Republicans for you. So, give me a break. They talk about fiscal responsibility. That's your out. While backing a rapist, for fuck's sake. An insurrectionist. All of these things. You saw the insurrection. You saw A. Jean Carroll. You saw Christine Blasey Ford. You saw all of these fucking rapists being put in positions of power. And you're like, I'm a fiscal. This is bullshit. You're immoral. That's what you are. You're immoral. And you're a dumbass. I mean, you think you're doing it for fiscal. You're also sociopathic. It's psycho. I mean, for real. Millions in the United States are uninsured, and now 10 million more lost their health insurance because of the big ugly bill. And the Republicans are still attacking. They continue to attack the ACA, the Medicaid expansion, and basic coverage protections. They will not stop. That's why they need to be removed from power legally and peacefully. Reproductive rights, how about that? Republican-controlled states enforce abortion bans and exceptions. Give me a break. Some of them don't even have them. They're so narrow. Women are literally being turned away until they're septic or hemorrhaging or near death. Come back when you're near death, when you see the Grim Reaper licking the back of your heels. And then USAID. Everything that you have done with your vote, you're complicit in the death of children all over the world. And the spread of disease. No disease more detrimental and viral than Trumpanzeeism, for fuck's sake. None more toxic than maggotry. Trump's suspension, right, of the USAID. Well, destruction, not suspension, I should say. And the experts, I know that the Republicans hate that. They only require loyalty, but actual experts are saying that the destruction of USAID is fueling a global humanitarian crisis right now, a catastrophe. Hundreds of thousands of deaths are already attributed to what Elon Musk and Trader Trump did, including more than 200,000 children. That's what you voted for. And can't we agree? How did we get here? You know how we got here? Through your blindness, your stupidity. And beyond that, then we have the climate crisis that these maggots deny, the public lands that they're raping. This is the same fiscals. They cheer expanded drilling and extraction of oil on federal lands. while undermining climate action and rolling back all the solutions that actually work, like renewables and EVs, locking future generations into this escalating disaster that they voted for. That's going to cost the future. I mean, like, how can you be so disgusting? How can you be so selfish and stupid, too? Because you're not getting anything for fiscal. It's not a real thing. They're not fiscals. They don't do shit for the economy. They fucking suck for the economy. They make it worse. They make everything worse. It's harder when Republicans are in charge, unless you're a billionaire, and I know that this person is not. And I know that they have partaken of our social safety net without the manners or the maturity to say thank you. But these aren't abstractions. Your vote is not an abstraction. It's a moral statement, who you are. These are the lived reality of people who bleed out in parking lots now, thanks to your vote. Because hospitals are afraid to treat them under extremist abortion bans that only kill women and increase the abortion rate. But communities all over the globe, you're like a goddamn plague yourself when you vote for this thing. Because now communities all over the world are losing access to vaccines, food aid, basic health care, because the United States chose this nativist cruelty over being a great country that had a modicum of global responsibility. And that's how we earned respect. That's why people respected the United States. Not because, low T, because we looked at fucking Pete Hegseth and said, what a man, what a guy. Oh, God, these people. That's what you voted for. So when somebody insists they're a fiscal conservative who supports Trump and the Republican Party, they're telling every trans person in the country, in the world, that their ability to exist is negotiable to them. Go fuck off. Fuck yourself. Go die, right? They're telling every woman that her life can be weighed in the balance against a religious fanatic's fantasy. And women are expendable. That's what you're saying in that fantasy. You're telling millions of poor people, sick people, vulnerable people that your survival is nothing but a budget line item to be slashed for the tax cuts of the richest people on the planet. You goddamn immoral, clueless dupe. They're telling families of aid workers and civilians killed or abandoned by the decimation of USAID, that foreign aid, that their loved ones' lives are they're just, it's not worthy. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. Because cruelty is strength now, don't you know? Oh, and everyone's taking advantage of us. Oh my God. And now, of course, they're also telling the whole world that catastrophic climate change, fires, floods, droughts, heat waves, everyone's in a heat wave, right? That's the acceptable cost. That's the trade-off. We're going to cling to fossil fuels. We're going to cling to the past because of the oil barons, the dead energy systems that they suck on, that they need their money. They want to make some money still. And they can't seem to make a buck unless, they don't want to have to come up with something else. They're not rich enough, these oil barons. They don't want to have to shift and think of something else to do. They figured it out. They're going to suck oil out of the ground, come what may. Who cares if Mother Earth has a fever and is begging us to stop? Well, eventually, what's happening, the fever, is that whole Gaia principle, is that Mother Earth will throw us off through catastrophic climate change, like heats, floods, fires. That's Mother Nature's way of getting rid of us, getting rid of the parasite that's killing her. And your vote just helped that. Because of fiscals. And when you hear that message, right? When I look at this message, I think, what the hell? You saw an insurrection and said that was fine. You watched the body count from COVID, right? The 1 million dead, the mass graves. And you said, oh, well, that guy, I'm a fiscal. Even though he left office with the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover. And I just can't get over, a gay person doing that, voting for someone who hates gays and hates trans people. Even in that speech last night, transgender for everyone. Isn't that what he said? He started out saying that we used to have transgender for everyone. What a delusional mush of a brain cell he's got left. Transgender for everyone. As if, well, what was going on? Everybody was trans, the whole world. Thank God he was elected, and now we all have our peepees in the right place. They're all in the right pants or the right bathroom, or, oh, we were getting off the track there. My peepee was in, I didn't know how to put my peepee in a dress or in a pants or what bathroom to use. Oh my God. So, yeah, no, you don't get absolution voting for this. This is not a minor disagreement. It is consent. You are consenting to authoritarianism, to cruelty, to corruption. That's you're a useless idiot in the demise of the American dream. And then you demand the emotional comfort of absolution, for God's sakes. You don't get to look at trans people who are denied care, women denied life-saving treatment, millions denied health coverage, hundreds of thousands dead from foreign aid cuts, and an entire ecosystem sacrificed to greed, and insist that the real problem is that liberals are being mean to you. Oh my God. Okay. So everyone who voted for Traitor Trump made a choice, and that choice has consequences. The party of personal responsibility, right? And now live with it. Live with those consequences. As everyone else has to do. Trans people have to live with the consequences. Women, families, communities. You want to keep friendship? Stop enabling the harm. Try that. Okay. Maybe I went on too long with that, but it was just getting on my nerves. Right? It's one of those things. It's needed to be said. The other thing, it was another, this is going to be another rant, really, on someone's post. Because this is what happened earlier, and it pissed me off. And I have a show, so what the hell, let's talk about it. This fucking guy, another guy that I know. Another guy, this guy. he posted this. I know he's a Republican and not too smart. And it annoyed the fuck out of me. Posted this. And I had to write something. I think I wrote something like, what a disgusting, and I don't remember how I said it. And I said, what an ignorant thing to post. That was about it. He'll probably unfriend me. I don't give a shit. Good. Because it is ignorant, this statement. And for those listening on audio only, there's two images. One is of Steve Harvey, and one side is Bernie Sanders, and the other side is Steve Harvey. The Bernie Sanders side goes first, and it says, nobody working 40 hours a week should be living in poverty. And the Steve Harvey side says, then stop giving their money to people working 0 hours a week. Isn't that fucking funny? Is that supposed to be funny or clever or, common sense, right? That's what maggots always say. Oh, it's just common sense, being a stupid dumbass. There's nothing stupider than that, and it really is ignorant. Nothing more ignorant than that. So, I mean, like the complexity of the economy that functions in a way where people working 40 hours a week are living in poverty, and the propaganda machine required to churn that out and make that acceptable to the point where some fucking person who I personally know who works for a living is posting a meme or a cartoon that is kicking down, that is part of the problem, that doesn't see the whole part that they play in this sick ass system, and them cheering it, enabling it, it's not the system, right? It's the person. That's what they're saying. It's not, the system's not broken. It's the person working, who should be working, right? The person who's getting money from, because if that were the case, what is your argument here? That someone, the reason that people aren't earning living wages, working 40 hours a week, is because someone is hanging out in the social safety net hammock? Is that what you're saying? It's not the entire fucking rigged tax system and the fact that workers are exploited, even though corporations are making record profits. And here comes the disinformation machine, the propaganda machine, funded by billionaires, to tell working people that the problem is lower on the ladder. It's those who are struggling, who need a hand out and a hand up, right? And that's the problem, that we give things to those lower on the ladder so they don't starve, and maybe they should starve because that'll motivate them. So, I mean, it's not radical. Bernie Sanders saying nobody who works 40 hours a week should not be living in poverty. This isn't radical. This is the bare minimum in a supposedly civilized society. And it's backed up by hard numbers on what it actually costs to live, right? In state after state. MIT's, for example, living wage calculator. MIT's living wage calculator supports, it shows that people need far more than starvation level federal minimum wage to support a family, as we know, without luxuries. These are people who never take a vacation, who never take a day off. In some places, a single parent with a single child needs well over $30 an hour. That's what And what's the federal minimum wage? It's like $7.25. Whose problem is that? Oh, is that the fault of giving money to people working 0 hours a week? And who the fuck are you talking about, too? Are you talking about the elderly? Are you talking about the disabled? Yes, that's what they are talking about. Because no one works harder than the poor in this effing country. Oh, God, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the cruelty and the stupidity. Right? So when the meme, this is the meme crowd, right? It's near a few full-time workers are poor. This is, they're hiding behind this narrow technical definition. Millions of workers live one medical bill, one rent increase, one car breakdown away from disaster. That's not prosperity. That is poverty. That's poverty in the richest country on earth. That's the working poor. But this is a classic kiss up, kick down bullshit of another working class person that cheers, I guess, cheers the cruelty. Here comes Tara Jr. again. Come on up. And what annoys me is that it reframes the issue so that the villain is not corporations that have fought tooth and nail to keep wages low and crush unions. It is the people at the bottom who are forced to rely on public assistance in an economy rigged against them. That's what annoys the fuck out of me. It's not seeing the forest through the trees here. Public assistance doesn't exist because poor people are lazy. Let's remember that. It exists because corporate America has spent decades lobbying to keep wages down, while the prices and profits go up, go into their own pockets, and the safety net is the last flimsy barrier between their greed, right, the corporate greed, and mass, my God, mass immiseration. That's a good word. It's infuriating. So I never hear people like this or see people like this post memes against the rich or pointing out how the rich get richer and the working class slip lower and lower on the ladder and need public assistance. I couldn't imagine this person posting something about how people who work 40 hours a week still living in poverty and need public assistance. I want to maybe make this person go out and meet some of the people who are working 0 hours and are on public assistance. Maybe he should meet some of them, right? And tell them that they better get to work. I'd like to meet them. Maybe you don't know their story, you don't know their situation. Oh, well, Fox News will dig up someone who's like a surfer and taking advantage, but who fucking cares, by the way? Because most people want to work, and that's not, most people aren't like that. They're not on public assistance so they can go surf. The fact is, every dollar in public assistance returns $1.60 into the economic stimulus of the neighborhood or whatever. So, unlike tax cuts that don't trickle down. So, as we know, he's not complaining about the corporations getting zero tax deals and lavish abatements that are shoveling cash back into politicians' pockets to keep the racket going. It's so fucking annoying to me. The blindness. And the cruelty, really. The stupidity. Pay people then. Pay people living wages. But there are some people that need public assistance. There are disabled people. There are sick people. We all need help sometime, you prick. And I know that they partake in our social safety net on occasion. Of course, everybody does. Not a single person in this country has not relied on some form of public assistance. And that's not, I'm not complaining, that's the way it should be. We need a situation, we need a country that's, we need a better social safety net, for fuck's sake. But these are people, it's why we don't have universal health care. The stupidity. It's why they don't seem to get it, you know? The cruelty, the stupidity. Oh, great meme. Argument by meme. That's all, you know, argument by anecdote. This is what they do. This is who they are. Very clever. They like their little quips because, you know, it's so much simpler when life is so much more complex than your fucking stupid meme. But thank you for your service to the oligarchy, you dumb bastard. And the corruption and the sickness and the suffering. Thank you for your service to the suffering. And oh, I'm sure you felt very clever posting that to your Facebook friends. I don't know why they feel the need. This is what right-wingers do. And, well, I guess it gives me something to talk about. But I'm really talking about the broken-ass system, and of which many of our fellow Americans are a part of it. They are the problem. And that's why we can't give them a pass. We can't absolve them of their voting record, their mistakes, their stupidity. All I remember after September 11th, there was all the conversation about how we neglected to connect the dots. We just didn't connect the dots. We never connect the dots. Well, I connect the dots here on the Tarabuster show. I think I do. I try to. We should connect the dots, and I'm connecting them here. You're dumb, you're cruel, you're stupid, and life is just more complex than this. And if you don't like people on public assistance, I mean, there's ways. I don't think we would ever get by in a society without some form of public assistance, of course, but it's not because there are poor people that need public assistance. You know, you're not talking about a fucking windfall either. You're talking about $16 of food stamps, or what? You know, $100 a month? Not even. I mean, who the fuck can live on it anyway? It's not meant. It's not like in other countries where people are happy. Actually, like the happiest countries on earth, where if you lose your job and you need unemployment, it's enough to live on. And guess what? In places like Denmark, if you go on unemployment and need unemployment, you get unemployment until you get a fucking job. Not until 6 weeks. Oh, well, it runs out and go fuck off. Sucks to be you. Oh, well. Right? Because the rich need their fucking tax breaks, boo. Don't you know? And then you get a job and whatever. It doesn't pay your living wage, or you're a temp, you're not a staff, you don't get benefits, and then here come the Republicans cutting your Obamacare. Oh, God. When will the stupidity end? How much longer? That's what I keep saying. How much longer will we take it? Well, it starts here too. It starts with us educating, enlightening people like this that we have in our lives, but it also comes with a healthy dose of shaming them too. I think there's something very necessary in public shaming. Wait, hold on. Where's my radio? Not radio. Music. That's the end of the show, but I'm just lowering that so we can finish up. And thank you for hanging out tonight. What do you think? I don't know. You guys are talking. What are you talking about here? Vanessa says, here in San Francisco, the minimum wage is almost $20 an hour, and that's good. And that's, but here in New York too. What is the minimum wage here? I think it's, let me see. I'm looking it up. Minimum wage in NYC is 17, yeah. $17 an hour. And it should be, let me look this up. If the minimum wage kept up with productivity, sorry, I can't type. What would it be? I think it's like $30 an hour. The federal minimum wage. If the federal minimum wage had kept pace with labor productivity since the 60s, most estimates put it somewhere between the low 20s or $26 an hour. I thought it was more than that myself. I thought it was like 30. Minimum wage could be 24 to 30. Actual federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. And it's been that way for how many years? I think 30 years, something like that. Something ridiculous. How dare them? This is what I mean, you know? How dare these fucking people? How dare people post memes like that and think they're clever? And all you're doing is exposing how stupid you are, how cruel you are, how easily led you are. Probably how racist you are, too. Oh, well, it's Steve Harvey, right? He's got darker pigment. I'm not racist. Look, darker pigment person agrees. I don't know why. Why is that something Steve Harvey says? Jesus Christ. Why bring Steve Harvey into it? I'm serious. Is he a douchebag? I missed that. I missed it. Let me see. I'm looking it up. I gotta look it up. I'm doing my own research. Let me see. Why does this meme use Steve Harvey? Is that something he actually said? Let me see. There is no evidence Steve Harvey ever said that line. The meme is using his face to sell a generic right-wing anti-welfare talking point that fits with his broader hustle culture shtick, not an actual source quote. Well, that also makes sense. You know, they're using some darker pigment guy, or a guy with darker pigment, however, whatever, to hide behind as a human shield for their own bigotry, to give them a pass. Oh, I'm not talking about pigment. I'm talking about, it has nothing to do with, I'm not racist. It has nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about blah, blah, right? See? Wow. So on every level, it's bullshit. Searches for Steve Harvey's major speeches, interviews, and motivational clips show lots of bootstrap rhetoric, but not this specific anti-welfare one-liner. He does a lot of, rich people don't sleep 8 hours. They don't? Bullshit. Oh, because they're better than us, right? They're better than people who work for a living. Wow, what a fucking shitty time to be alive. Right? Is there a good time to be alive? I know there's better times to be alive. But, alrighty. Alrighty. Oh boy. Alright, that's the end of this show. I gotta go. My soul hurts. Yes, Andre on the chat, there is no middle class anymore. What are we talking about? That is true, actually. The middle class is lower and lower. Let me see. During the first Trump maladministration, the middle class went below 50% of the population for the first time in generations. Middle class went below 50. I'm writing it down. 50%. Where's the percent of the population during Trump's first term? What is it at now? Let us see. Best and current estimates is about half of Americans are in the middle class today. 51% by income-based measures. What? Oh, 55% self-identify. Well, that doesn't count, self-identification, because when you interview people and you ask them if they're in the middle class, they think they're middle class, but they're not. Everybody thinks they're middle class. If you talk to somebody poor, they'll say they're middle class. And people, you know, you're not middle class. If you can't miss a paycheck, you know what I mean? You're not middle class. And we found that out every time they shut the government down. And you have federal workers missing one paycheck and ending up on food bank lines and such. That's not middle class. It's just not. And we shouldn't accept it. And Bernie's 100% right. But unfortunately, he can't do it alone. We have so many morons just cheering their own demise. And I've met a few of them because of this show. They contact me. They say stupid things. They say, "You're dumb." I wish they would say why, how. Thank you, JD Christie, for your super chat and your cute little emoji of a cat. But what? Somebody fucking wrote something stupid to me earlier on one of these videos. I'm trying to remember. It was like, you know, one of these bullshits. Oh, I was telling about one where I was going on about billionaires, and somebody wrote, "This is a big load of shit." Right? And I'm like, how? Can you explain? They don't have any fucking specifics. It's just like, you're stupid. So, all right. Can you elaborate? Give me an example of something stupid that I said. But they don't have anything. It's always like, you're a dumb bitch. You're a dumb commie Marxist socialist. Meanwhile, and sometimes I'll just say, enjoy your socialist security. You're welcome. Because they're all on socialist security. It's true. All right, I need some water. That's good. It's nice and cold. Nice and cold water on a Friday night Tarabuster. Good way to end the Tarabuster. Right, Junior? Look at Tara Junior Junior. All right, so the Tara Junior Junior update before we end the show. Look at him. Look at him. He's so good. Look at your face. How are you? He's adorable. Right? What's wrong? You okay? Look a little out of it. What's going on? Hello? Are you okay? What's up? He's usually more vocal. All right, so I said he had diabetes. They told me he had diabetes. And then I took him on Monday to the vet. Did I tell you guys this? And fully expecting to get a treatment plan, a Tara Junior Junior treatment plan for his diabetes. And he didn't have diabetes anymore. So his numbers were completely normal. Or they were a little high, but not out of normal range. And then they did it again. They did like a snap test. And he had regular, no diabetes. So I don't know what to do. And the next step is to get him a goddamn MRI. So we can see but he's doing all right. All right, you're doing okay. Anyway. So become a patron at patreon.com. Donate to the show if you can. So we can get a MRI. I don't know. He's still unable to walk normally. It might have been, and then when I was talking to the neurologist, she was saying that the neurologist was the one that was saying that he had diabetes, and that's why they were going to do an MRI, but they didn't do it because of the diabetes, and I didn't know he had diabetes, and so she said we can't do it, but maybe he had a stroke or like a spinal stroke, and it might have passed, like a blood clot, something. Who the fuck knows? Like there were a few things she was saying, like the possibilities of something wrong with his brain, maybe. But he's otherwise normal, but he can't really jump and he's not falling over or anything. So I don't know. Maybe he hurt himself. There's other things. He doesn't have a feeling in the leg because they were like poking him. Do I have health insurance? Yes, for the cat. I do, thankfully. And I know myself, so it helps. And I didn't ever not have it. I always paid for, even though it was getting more expensive as time went on, because he was getting older. But I know myself, and I was like, I'm not gonna give this up because I'm gonna need it. So, but the MRIs are like $2,000 to $3,000, so that's not cheap. And I don't know. I've been thinking, what do I do? Do I just get the MRI because I will regret it otherwise, not knowing? And maybe there's something wrong that we can do something about. But the other part of me is like, well, he's doing all right. Do I need to spend $3,000? And money's tied, as you could tell by please become a patron. I wish I didn't have to fucking constantly e-beg. But anyway, all right. Uh-oh. Okay. So we. Thank you. I'm reading that. I pity. I love the all caps too. I pity as a and why are they always like this too? I'm glad they I'm glad this fucking dumb bitch posted. Or Dante, are you a dumb? Well, either way, you're a dumb bitch. So yeah, where are they? Go away. I pity you as a what? There always have to be a former something. I'm surprised they didn't say as a black gay, whatever, everything on the list. As a white Gen X former Democrat, I pity you self-loathing, guilt-ridden white liberals and progressives. I really do. So weak, intolerant, and insufferable. Really? What were we saying that we were? Where'd you come from? First of all, the show's over, so I was just talking about the cat, giving everybody an update. So I pity you. I pity self-loathing, guilt-ridden white liberals. What guilty about what? What are we guilty about? That's you. That's your bitch. That's your stupid bitch fucking brain cell. And, please, you don't have to put on the whole, I'm a former Democrat, white Gen former. No, you're not a former Democrat. You're not a fucking former human being. We know you're not someone who thinks that, we know you're a fucking maggot. And they always have to pretend that, well, so you really owned us, didn't you? With your, a former one pities us. Speak for yourself, you dumb bitch. There you go, again, with the projection. It's not about us. You pity us. What are we self-loathing? What are we self-loathing? Come out of the closet. I'm out of the closet. So what are we self-loathing? Guilt-ridden. Oh, is it about because we want to make a more perfect union? We're not racist? Is that it? So guilt-ridden, self-loathing, guilt-ridden, that's what they're talking about. They mean what the dumb bitch is saying is that because we're not racist and we recognize the harm of racism that has been inflicted on our fellow Americans of darker pigment and different other than straight white males, then we must be guilt-ridden and self-loathing. Whereas they are better than us because not only are they not guilt-ridden and self-loathing, they're also fully 100% committed to the racism and the hate. So that's what it means. That's what they're saying. They embrace the hate. That's what makes them honest. That's what they really believe. So as a former Democrat, you're not a former Democrat. You're not you were never human at any point. You're a racist. You've always been a racist. Whether you called yourself a Democrat at one time, whatever. But you don't have to put on that front. Just come in and say, I'm a racist. I hate black people. And anyone who isn't a racist, I project my bullshit onto them. I say, oh, you're guilt-ridden. And you're saying that because you don't have any guilt for being a racist. So you assume that we're I guess that's what it is. They assume that it's projection. They suffer from that, and so they assume we're secretly racist, but we're so guilty about it that we're trying to overcompensate. Is that it? Maybe I'm wrong. Right? Thank you, Elizabeth, right? Her first troll. Nice. Her first night on the job, and she got one. That's great. Thank you so much for keeping us safe in the chat, Elizabeth. But that's what that's about, right? That white guilt. I pity you. What do you fucking pity? I pity you for your stupidity and your hate. I mean, to come into a show, first of all, where the show's over, so who knows how long they've been hanging out. I don't know what the fuck they were, how long they've been there, but and to I pity you and to just be a troll and post this shit. For what reason? Go away. What? Have a good one from oh no, okay. I'll be in Montana in 2 weeks out of this left-wing hell on earth. Well, go away. See, right? I thought you were a former Democrat. They say, have a good one from Los Angeles. We'll be in Montana. Well, be. I'm just reading what they wrote. In 2 weeks, out of this left-wing hell on earth from Los Angeles. Well, you know, Los Angeles is such a hell on earth that it's part of the fifth, I think it's the fourth largest economy on earth, and now everyone wants to go there. People want to live there. No one is dreaming of moving to Montana unless they're out of options and don't make it in Los Angeles or New York. That's why New York, Los Angeles, people don't want to go where you are, and they also don't want to go. They want to go where normal people are. They want to go where people have empathy and aren't triggered by darker pigment or difference or trans people, where we embrace the beautiful tapestry of life. And we don't get all upset. We don't talk in tongues and pray, Jesus, help me, Jesus. We pretend to love Jesus while only the only holy obligation is gay bashing. Right? Is that where you're going? Out of our left-wing hellhole? Well, get the fuck out already. We don't want you here. We don't take kindly to racists and dumbasses. Insufferable. So weak, intolerant, and insufferable. And let me break that down. What they're talking about, so weak, intolerant, and insufferable, they mean, so to maggots, weakness is giving a shit about people, right? Giving a shit about the underdog, the marginalized, the politically unconnected. That's what they mean by weak, which is actual strength. They're the weakest little bitches because they're bullies, they're ugly, they're hateful, they're small. And so they say, and then when he says weak and intolerant, what they mean is intolerant of them. That's what he means. Intolerant of their hate. And you're goddamn right. And all day and twice on Sunday. So fuck you and your hate. We don't tolerate Nazis. We don't tolerate fascists, and we have a patriotic duty not to, right? And we have a Christian duty too, if you believe in Christ, as John Fugelsang does. That Christ, the actual Christ, that you would call weak, and if he returned, you'd crucify him again, right? And so he finishes weak, intolerant, and insufferable, meaning he can't take it because it reminds him of what a piece of shit he is. So when we are going around our lives, living our lives, never thinking about him, he's all like, not everybody's a hateful piece of shit like me. What the fuck is this? I gotta get back to Montana, where all the other assholes are. All the other Trump and Z dumbasses. Good in Montana. Let me see. Thank you for stopping by. Let me see. Let's compare. Compare Montana. Montana. I think there's about, how many people live there? Like 50? Um, people want to live in Los Angeles because shit's happening there. Art, culture, science, things that make life worth living. Well, California, right? California. All right. Montana. Mm-mm-mm. Hold on a second. I can't. I need to type faster. Montana. How many? What's the population? Population of Montana. It's probably cheaper there. He's mad because he can't make it in Los Angeles on his stupid brain cell. All right. Social climate in Montana, conservative. Right-leaning, LGBTQ rights are shit there. Reproductive rights. Oh, you get to go, pew, pew, I have a gun. Jesus Christ. Pew, pew. It is huge, but sparsely populated. All right, because who the fuck wants to go there? Public transportation is minimal. Outside of a few towns. I'm sure it's lovely. There are nice people everywhere. Not that guy, but whatever. There are normal people in every state. I'm not saying. And I'm sure there's like lovely mountains but I'm sure that somewhere in Montana, the beautiful land the Republicans are trying to exploit are being fucked by Republicans. Montana's population is 1.14 million. Oh, this is such bullshit. That's how many people live in fucking Astoria, Queens. Not kidding. I'm only kidding. It's just like 500,000. That's why it's certainly not, the system needs reformation. The fact that Montana gets 2 senators and so does California or New York is absolute bullshit. 1.14 million in the entire state of Montana, but they get 2 senators. Unbelievable. And come on, man. Let's see, healthcare. Okay. Montana's healthcare sucks, of course. Access is thin, services are collapsing. Mental health care in Montana is in a crisis, clearly, as we can tell by the chimpanzee visitor, who clearly needs mental health care but can't get it. Counties are, a majority of Montana counties are officially designated as primary care shortage areas, meaning there are simply not enough doctors for the population that they are supposed to serve. Rural residents often travel hours for basic appointments, specialists, or hospital care. Turns routine health issues into emergencies. Rural hospitals and clinics in Montana are operating on a shoestring and are now shutting down thanks to the big ugly bill. Federal rural health transformation funding Montana is getting hundreds of millions in the short term. Oh, is that welfare? Is that from my blue state tax dollars? That's what, thank you. You would think that the maggots had the manners to say thank you, but they don't. My blue state tax dollars keeps Montana afloat. But, oh, you're going to flee? And you'd have nowhere to flee to, you stupid bitch, if not for my blue state fucking tax dollars. But maggots, there you go. That's the whole connect the dots again that we were talking about. And they, I'm glad we got to point it out. But will they learn? Will they ever learn? They'll just think it was like Santa Claus keeping them afloat, or the Easter Bunny, or Jesus, or the fake Jesus that they worship. They don't worship the real Jesus. The real Jesus they would crucify. Again. Keep Montana afloat. Just looking up how much. I'm sure it's a lot. Blah, blah, blah. Hospital Association itself flags affordability as a key problem, citing surprise medical bill, opaque pricing, administration, regulatory burdens that drive up costs for patients. Well, patients in Montana face a double-blind, limited local choices, and complex high-cost billing that wreck finances if one suffers a single major event. Well, there you go. I wish you the best there. Montana is, drum roll please, a taker state. It gets more back from the federal government than it sends in federal taxes, and that federal money is heavily funded by high-income blue states like California and New York. You're welcome, bitch. You're welcome, you dumb bitch. I pity you, I really do. I pity this stupidity, but unfortunately we have to share the same air, and then we have to endure their horrible personalities when they come into our spaces. They never bring anything to the table. You notice that? They never bring a enlightened comment. They never join the conversation and make us think, maybe I was wrong about them. They prove us right. And if Jim were here tonight, he would remind us that we did have a right-winger that used to come into the chat, and he hung out a long time. I don't remember his name, but I hope he's okay. I don't know what happened to him. He used to come every week and discuss normally in the chat. He wasn't, like that asshole saying, like, you all suck, you're a bitch, you're a dyke, you're a socialist, commie, red, blah, blah, blah. He was, so it proved that we weren't just kicking people out because they have a difference of opinion. You're allowed. But I wonder. He hasn't been around. It was a long time ago. So, who knows? So, let's see. Montana receives more in federal money than it sends in federal taxes. For every dollar, holy shit, it sends to Washington, it gets about $1.47 back. What a taker state, you welfare queens there. Oh my God. In 2023, Montana received $5.8 billion, which made up 35.5% of its entire revenue that year. Well, fucking pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you Montanans. Especially that one asshole that was just here. What's his name? Or her name? I'm sure it's a he. Where'd they go? Oh, yeah. Quick Stop Dante. What about Quick Stop Dante? Right? I'm sick of her or him sucking on my blue state dollars without the manners, the decency. Let's see. Oh, that's not their real picture. Let's put it up here. Quick Stop Dante. Let's see. Come on. Do that. Do that. Is that a new account? Which is also a red flag. 3 subscribers. Ah, joined February 14th, 2026. It's one of the, it might be a Russian bot, who knows. What is that? Is that from a movie? That's not a real picture of somebody. I can't open it though. In its own page. Quick Stop Dante. What does that mean? Is that from a movie? Clerks? Search. Right, that's it. That's what I thought. It's from Clerks. Dante and Clerks. There you go. Fake ass. What a fake ass piece of shit. Alright, hiding behind Quick Stop Dante. Hiding behind something. They're not. They don't have the courage. I feel pity for Quick Stop Dante. Using a fake name. Using an actor's image as their avatar. And then going on to liberal shows, going, just spreading their bullshit. Spreading their fucking hate. What a shame. What a shame. Alright, well, that's Boudica and Ray Ray. Alright, guys, that's the end of the show. Thank you for hanging out. Look at Boudica and Ray Ray. They're very good. Very good boys and girls. That's good enough. That's good enough. Look how cute. Become a patron, patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie, APS Radio and APS Radio News. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being a moderator. Thank you, Susie, for being a moderator. Thank you, JD Christie, for your super chat. Thank you, everyone else on the Substack, the Tarabuster Substack, the Political Voices Substack, on the Twitch channel. I'm just laughing at Quick Stop Dante, who, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, guys? Saying, I can't wait to get out of this shithole Los Angeles to Montana, when there would be no Montana, dumb bitch, without Los Angeles. So why don't you say thank you? Just say thank you. But they can't. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. Right? Alright, honey, wait. Okay, he wants to get down. Alright, I will put you down. Say goodnight, everybody. Good night. Mwah. All right. Good night. There you go. You got it? All right. Good. He's walking. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. We will win. In spite of dumbasses like Quick Stop Dante, Diarrhea Dante. Diarrhea of the mouth Dante. Poor Dante. It's not Dante's fault. The because Dante from the show, right? That's not the guy's real name. The guy is a coward, like all Republicans. They don't use their real name. All right, I'm here. I'm right. I'm putting it on the line. Thank you, Elizabeth. My honor to join the mod squad. It's on an honor. It's my honor to that you would join the mod squad. Thank you so much. And thank you. Oh, stay safe from the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Exactly, yes. It happened before. We've had them, and you could smell it, It's very strange. But we will win. Right. We're talking about Clerks, right? I remember Clerks. Elizabeth said, I knew that sounded familiar. It just looked familiar to me, that image. I was like, that's not him. That ain't him. We will win, though. We will. Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Guys, thank you for hanging out tonight. We went a little late, but we were, the show was over. We were just shooting the shit. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Andrea, on the chat over on Twitch. Keeping us safe on Twitch. We stick together. We win. Become a patron, patreon.com. This is what you have to do. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Subscribe to the Substack. Hit the like and subscribe on YouTube. Share the show with your friends. All that shit. If you can support financially, that would help. But subscribing on Substack is paramount. So we can get the numbers up and all that. That helps. It all helps. Okay? I ain't getting any younger, as you can tell. And as the AI constantly reminds me when it shows me my fucking face and I want to scream. And I scream. Like I've been shocked. I'm like, what the... Okay. We stick together. We win. My name is Devlin, and we will have a show on Tuesday. But in the meantime, I will see you on the Substack. I'll see you soon.